the Nook team also met with the SEC chair. Tell us more about that and the context behind that.
Yes, great question. Chairman Hester Peirce has been in the SEC for almost 8 years. So she's been a staple across multiple cabinets, including the Obama to Trump, Trump to Biden. It was actually initially an Obama nomination. So she was great in terms of giving us perspective of what do lawmakers see when they look at this new wave of companies like Nook, right? Do they have, like, what are their main questions, what are their concerns, et cetera? Because we really want to build this company to be around for decades, right? And I don't want this to be something that clashes or battles against the law. We've always built Nook to be compliant, to be within the guidance of the law at the state and federal level. So it was really good to have that conversation with her and just hear her feedback of, yes, like, keep going. This is promising. Like, there are still some questions we have to figure out, but she's generally supportive of creating new apps, platforms, companies in this space.
Right.
Because for the past few years, it hasn't always been that clear. When we were at Coinbase, the regulatory environment was different. We were hearing mixed things from lawmakers, and it was really hard to build. We have a lot of friends, colleagues, other companies that have left the United States just for that reason, which is really disappointing. They're good people, they were good companies, but now you don't have the same transparency and regulatory clarity because that company is based in the Cayman Islands or it's based in Switzerland. And that's a shame because although it can be difficult working with lawmakers, we think it's absolutely the right approach. I would not ever create a company that is not based in the United States. So as frustrating as it is sometimes to be in compliance with the law or work with the law, we always do it. And it was great to meet with Hester because she was actually very informative, supportive of just building new companies and coming to her with an open door policy. So she invited us back to talk to her and her team. We met with them directly, and it was just a very different vibe shift from how companies were built even just a couple of years ago outside the United States.
Right. Now, there's been a recent wave of regulatory support for the crypto economy in general, right? With your Genius Act, everything. Tell us how you see that playing into Nook's strategy going forward, how you think it affects Nook, and also if you think that in the near future, if these regulatory changes as of now do change, how Nook will adapt and go on forward.
So the main thing that we learned at Coinbase that we're going to keep doing at Nook is regardless of the regulatory landscape, we're always going to play by the rules.
Right.
And we've done that several times at Coinbase in terms of the rules have changed on us and we changed the way we work or the product we were offering.
Right.
Even if that meant removing it from certain states or geographic restrictions or changing the fundamentals of the product itself.
Right.
I've been on teams where I've launched new products. Right. And so that's always going to be the way that we operate. How we're thinking about it from here is there's been two major shifts. So one is on the regulatory side, Genius Act. The Genius Act essentially recognizes and approves certain aspects of stable coins to be treated as a stable asset, as a currency.
Right.
Nook is built on top of stablecoins in terms of USDC, the leading US stablecoin, fits those parameters of the Genius Act. Right. So it recognizes it not as this speculative crypto asset, but as a stablecoin itself. So that's fundamental in terms of the foundational asset that your money is stored in when you put it on Nook is recognized by the Genius Act and the federal government.
Right.
The second part is, okay, where do we go from there in terms of lending these assets? There's still not a lot of regulatory clarity there, but there was essentially an agreement to have a moratorium on rules and laws passed over the next couple of years.
Right.
Like, hey, as we still figure this out, as we still have conversations with the SEC, let's not jump to conclusions and write a law this week or this month, because a law that you write without understanding kind of where this is going, or for any law that's written without understanding the subject matter, is going to hurt people in the end. It's going to stifle competition. It's going to stifle innovation. And we're really at that point with crypto and stablecoins, but we're also at that point with other areas of technology. So there was a lot of AI regulation that was proposed. Some of it passed, some of it did not. That came along very early, where we didn't really understand the implications of AI. It wasn't really directed at any specific problem. Right. And so with that moratorium and with that overall positive outlook from the government right now, we're able to build within the confines of the law, but we're not building out of fear of retribution, which is, I think, different from how it's been in the past. Mm-hmm. So it's, again, back to that vibe shift of there hasn't been any clear laws written about this type of technology because it's still very relatively new. Right. But there has been general sentiment of, one, go forward and build, and then two, a law written of let's not pass a law right now around something that's too new. Right. So I think over time, it's going to all come together well. We're going to stick to our principles of your funds are your funds. It's a self-custody wallet. We're not mixing your fund with other people. Right. So you're in control of your assets. And then 2, we are based here in the United States, incorporated in Delaware, headquartered in Texas. We're going to operate within the confines of the US law. I think crypto and stablecoins really are here to stay. I think the laws will change over time. Some things will move forward, go backward, et cetera. But I don't think we are ever in a place where the federal government here in the US and governments across the world will try and outright ban crypto or ban stablecoins like there has been discussion in the past. I don't think we're going back to those days. We're at over $300 billion of assets on USDC and it's not turning around. We're really excited about building in tandem with the regulators versus building out of fear. And I think that's the main direction forward for the Genius Act, Clarity Act, and then regulation that's bound to come down the line.
Of course.